In the words of the great LT, I'm back. That's right, everybody. The hurry up. It's back. Normally, I would be doing a live show, but, I haven't done a video in a while, so I thought I'd drop something on you, which really kind of was funny to talk about. So, the other day, aka yesterday, I was going through some streams, looking at some content, some YouTubers, and I stumbled upon a stream that was very Daniel Jones-centric. It was talking about the quarterbacks, would he be a top 10 guy and stuff like that. And a few guys on there mentioned that Daniel Jones, I don't know if you guys understand that. Daniel Jones was a top 10 quarterback. Better than Russell Wilson. Better than Joe Burrow. What? Like, come on. I know people don't want to look at stats, but production matters in the league. Okay? Production matters. And Joe Burrow, and Justin Herbert. We'll get to him in a minute. Joe Burrow led his team to the Super Bowl. That's not production enough? Like, I don't know what this guy needs to do in some people's eyes. But Daniel Jones, who's won 12 games, is better than him. Hold on. It gets better. Russell Wilson also is worse than Daniel Jones. Don't worry, I'll wait. Russell Wilson, yes, the guy who went to 2 Super Bowls, won 1. Yeah, that guy. The guy who led the league in passing one year, who leads the Seahawks to the playoffs every year on his own back. On his back, his shoulders. Every year they're good, even last year. If he doesn't get injured, that team's probably in the back end of the wild card. But Daniel Jones, who can't stay healthy, is better than him. Oh, and then there's, of course, Justin Herbert. Well, again, according to a few on this stream I was listening to, is worse than Daniel Jones. It's worse than Daniel Jones. I don't understand. I don't understand when production is discredited to fit a narrative. Because if you look at production, right? Production, and the person on the stream was like, well, you saw what he did against the Raiders. Like, the Raiders? His coach went for it on 4th and 2 inside his own end. And the Raiders blew it up. Is that his fault? He brought him up and down the field. You got to look at what the guy does. Is he the problem? Deshaun Watson, I know people don't like him, threw for 4,800 yards, that team still went 4-13. Is that all his fault? 4,800 yards and 33 touchdowns? That's not a winning effort? Come on. It's not like it was Jameis Winston, where he threw for 5,000 yards, led the league in passing, and then led the league in interceptions with 30. We're talking about 4,800 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. Oh, and by the way, Justin Herbert, who has been in the league 2 years, 1 year behind Daniel Jones, has already thrown for almost the same amount of yardage as Daniel Jones. And he hasn't played more than 2 seasons. But Joe Burrow, who apparently, who was a Heisman winner, is not good. I don't understand when productivity and production meet. You don't want to see it because it doesn't fit the narrative that you're trying to follow. Like, for example, how come nobody talks about how many turnovers Daniel Jones has had since college? Or the fact that Daniel Jones has been injury prone since his days at college? Or how about the fact that, I don't know, he has the most fumbles since coming into the league and the most turnovers since coming into the league. Oh, and let's not mention the fact of, the 12 wins. Oh, and then I hear this. Oh, well, he doesn't have this around him and that around him, this guy and that guy. That's an excuse. Everything's an excuse. Oh, well, Carson Wentz had this guy. Or, oh, well, Russell Wilson had this guy. You still have to get him the ball. There's been plenty of quarterbacks who have had good players that they still have stunk. I mean, my gosh. People. Production. I know people don't want to look at stats. But the eyeball test tells me, and the eyeball test is, all you have to do is watch. All you have to do is watch. Watch. The eyeball test will tell you. And it's not a bad thing. I'm not trying to make this a DJ rant. Because I really don't care. You know, the bottom line with Daniel Jones is it's this season or bust. And he has to have a good season. We're talking about a playoff and probably a playoff win. Not a, hey, we almost made it there. Thanks. No. We need a breakout year. Look at the numbers. I know people don't want to look at production. They want to say, well, he's injured, and well, he had this, and well, he had that. That's not it. You know a player's good by watching what they do with what they have around them. You know, case in point is Matthew Stafford, and still not getting the respect he deserves. The guy played, and Deshaun Watson right now. Those two guys play for crappy franchises. Houston won some, but their defense was atrocious in 2020. Absolutely abysmal. Matthew Stafford, yeah, he had Calvin Johnson, but who do they have on defense? Name one defensive player not named Ziggy Ansah on that team. That was good. That really did anything. Don't worry. I'll wait. But the thing about Matthew Stafford is you saw the production. He came in, week out. They had a shot to win the football game. Yeah, sure, he's going to have bad games. They all do. But the talent is there. Look what he did in the Super Bowl and in the playoffs to get him there. That dime throw to Cooper Kupp. Come on. We had two quarterbacks, Jimmy Garoppolo and Jared Goff, both have a chance to win a game on a deep throw and missed it. It matters. Don't poo-poo something because you want to believe Daniel Jones is this great. Look, the kid's got talent, Daniel Jones. Okay? He can throw the ball. But there's many flaws in his game that need to be worked on before he gets there. And if he does get there, is he going to be at that elite level? But if you're just going to sit there and slander guys who have done it or are on the cusp of doing it or have produced while they're in there and your excuses are, well, they've had this and they've had that. I mean, look, the Chargers were the sixth pick in the draft for a reason. So I don't know how good they are. They might have smarter financial decisions, but let's be honest, Justin Herbert elevated that team. You may not want to believe it, but go watch the tape. Go look at their defense. I mean, the Ravens. People want to tell me Lamar Jackson's good. How come I'm not blaming him for their crappy record? Oh, but it wasn't him. He was injured. Exactly. So those same excuses that you make for Daniel Jones can still be said for other guys. Like this year, Aaron Rodgers. If we all believe Aaron Rodgers is going to be good. How good? I don't know, but you know Aaron Rodgers is going to be good regardless because that's Aaron Rodgers. And he's going to make everybody around him better. And so will Brady. And so will Burrow. You know, it's not, how is it Joe Burrow's fault that they drafted Jamar Chase and he worked out? You know, they also drafted other guys like Billy Price that didn't work out, you know, for the offensive line. So I can't go the narrative where you're just poo-pooing guys because out of sheer disrespect. We know there is not a shadow of a doubt. If you were to put NFL GMs and you were to line up Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson and Joe Burrow, those three guys right there, and Justin Herbert, right? Russell Wilson, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, and Deshaun Watson, minus the allegations for him because that's the only way to do it. You're getting that guy, right? You're getting that guy. Where's Daniel Jones on that list? He's not even going to be picked one. Like, there are so many other guys in the league I will take just because of their production. Oh, well, you know, the offensive line is terrible. Yeah, but when the offensive line blocked, and there was times that they did block, right? Because we want to just forget about it. Like, that there were games that they could have won that they blocked. And he didn't do anything. And then here's another argument. And this is what I don't believe either, right? We were losing with Daniel Jones. Mike Glennon and Jake Fromm come in and are even worse. That's why they're backup quarterbacks. And yet people are like, well, you see what happened when we got rid of Daniel Jones and the backups play? Yeah, why do you think we got Tyrod Taylor this year? So we don't look like a bunch of clowns out there running 3rd and 9 on up the middle. That's why we're doing that. Optimism is great, but fool's gold is not. You're not just going to sell me a box of rocks and try to tell me it's fucking diamonds. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to do it. I'm sorry. And I don't mean to be impassionate, and those people can have their opinions on Daniel Jones. But let's cut this out right now with this. He's better than Wilson, who went to 2 Super Bowls, is a borderline Hall of Famer, okay, is now going to the Denver team where they expect him to be good, okay? Daniel Jones doesn't even have another contract. We don't know if he's going to even be on the team next year. And yet we're sitting here slandering him. Joe Burrow went to a Super Bowl last year. I don't know what the hell you need to do to prove it. And then, of course, let's go Justin Herbert, right? You're trying to tell me if I put the production down next to Daniel Jones with Justin Herbert's production. I know people are going to say, production doesn't matter, man. You're not supposed to look at stats. Well, what am I supposed to look at? That is their job, because clearly he plays quarterback better than Daniel Jones when you look at the eye test. So the next metric you have to look at is stats and production. And then you're going to tell me, well, he had Keenan Allen. Okay, well, he had Kenny Golladay. Is it my fault? Golladay can't run a route, can't get out of his own way, pulls a hamstring, is fighting on the sidelines. Is it my fault? Kadarius Toney can't find a shoe that fits. Okay? And Sterling Shepard can't run a route without getting injured? No. Before the season started, everybody that was a Giant fan was like, oh, this is a great roster, blah, blah, blah. Ever since it's over, the fact is they were injured. And now we want to make excuses as it would have produced. Well, they didn't. And that's the point. I can't be mad if Keenan Allen is healthy all year. And Justin Herbert hits him. That's his teammate. It's put up or shut up time. If Daniel Jones gets in the top 10, I'll eat crow. I don't think he's going to make it to the top 15, but let's be real, man. I'm sorry. Daniel, you're my quarterback. You know, I'm going to pray you don't muck it up. You know what I'm saying? Come Sundays. But even he will tell you, Russell, I mean, production matters, fellas, ladies and gentlemen. Production matters. You're trying to tell me, because at the end of the day, when the career's over of Daniel Jones and Russell Wilson, I can tell you who's getting their bust in Canton, and I can tell you who's being the bus boy at Canton, okay? And I'm not trying to slander Daniel Jones. All I'm just saying is this is what grinded me yesterday. And I'm trying not to get all hot and bothered by it, but you know, it's one thing to say, you know, Daniel Jones is better than Tua. I can give you that. Or better than Jalen Hurts. You want to argue that? That's fine too. You know, you want to even argue that he could be better than Kirk Cousins? I don't know. That's on you. But there is no way you're going to tell me that he's better than Justin Herbert. There is no way you're going to tell me he's better than Joe Burrow. And there's absolutely no way you're going to tell me that he's better than Russell Wilson, because production doesn't lie. And I don't want to hear excuses. I don't, because we're not looking at excuses here, okay? Because there's a lot of good players that were on bad teams. When they left, a la Matthew Stafford, they were good. Sam Darnold, bad player with the Jets, bad player with Carolina. You saw it. Oh, well, you know, it happens. Your eyes don't lie. The only reason Daniel Jones has got his last chance here is because John Mara, the owner, said we mucked it up. If John Mara was like, well, you know, I'll let the GM decide what to do, this guy is probably not even here. But because of that and the backlash and all this stuff, oh, now everybody wants to be on Daniel Jones' side. Oh, I feel so sorry for the guy. Blah, blah, blah. Throwing everything out that he's done. Acting like he's going to be Joe Montana. Give me a break. Look, Daniel Jones, wish him nothing but the best. But let's be real, folks. Russell Wilson, Joe Burrow, and Justin Herbert. You take all three of those guys over Daniel Jones twice. Most NFL fans would. I'm a Giant fan, and I have a tough time picking Daniel Jones as my quarterback. But he's here. But I'm not going to besmirch guys that have done it or are ascending players because I want to say that Daniel Jones is good when he's done absolutely nothing in the league. Hasn't sniffed the playoffs. The last argument is that, oh, Daniel Jones was sniffing the playoffs. At 6-10 in a booty-ass division, he sniffed the playoffs. He did his job to get it in. Okay, well, they barely won the game. It wasn't for an Andy Dalton interception in the back of the end zone. The game might be tied. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand it. Comeback wins. Daniel Jones has 3 comeback wins in his entire career. Tampa Bay, Washington, and I think it was the other Washington game. 2 in his entire career. Daniel Jones went downfield against Tampa Bay and threw a crappy ball to Dion Lewis, and we didn't get a penalty because if he threw the ball correctly or was on time, that's a touchdown. Because he threw it behind him and the guy was grabbed, he made the play. Game over. Those are the type of throws you got to make. I'm done with this conversation. Listen, sub up if you like it. Comment if you do. Love talking all football. It's all about football. It's nothing about personal. It's just football. And I hope you guys enjoy this. Check me out with Mac the Giant Fan on NFC East Roundup. Coming at you tonight. I'm Adam Costas. I'm out. This is the Hurry Up. Peace.